Hi, this is Lou from Lou's Antiques and Collectibles, and we are still here at the Midland Michigan Antique Festival, and we stayed here all weekend. What great fun. So we got 6 videos to show you, so let's go take a look and see what Matt has to say about it.
We have 4 shows a year. We do one in Davisburg and one in Midland in the spring, and then a fall Midland and Davisburg as well. We actually set a record this show. We've about 1,000 dealers that showed up and decided to participate in the show. We had over 300 car show cars that decided to come out. We had car sales, lot cars, and just obviously the wonderful food dealers as well.
So we're going to go inside the main building here and talk to some of the dealers. So this is James here, and James is from what company?
Vine of Time LLC.
And tell us about this glassware, James.
We're looking at Mount Washington Burmese glass, which contains uranium oxide and is reacting to the presence of ultraviolet light. This was produced in the late 1800s. Some of it's decorated, some of it is undecorated. Mount Washington patented this glass in 1885. The Webb & Sons Glass Company of England was given the permission by Mount Washington to also market Burmese glass, and it was called Queensware Burmese over in England. A lot of their pieces would be decorated in these with the little hawthorn berries here. Not all. It's difficult unless it's marked. Mount Washington never marked a Burmese, but unless the Webb & Sons had their acid mark or a paper label, it's difficult to tell which company, but it's all Victorian art glass, very, very popular, very, very collectible.
Show us this bowl down here, because this one was very striking.
This one here, although it's Burmese, I attribute to Italy from the 1950s, post-World War II. The reason being is because it's too heavy and it's too thick. But it still glows beautiful in the ultraviolet light.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your Vaseline glass.
Well, Vaseline glass also contains uranium oxide, which reacts with the black light. It was discovered or initially started by the Boston Sandwich back in the early 1800s, 1820, 1830, but it was not known as Vaseline glass. During the Victorian era in the 1880s, which some of these pieces are from, it was marketed as utilitarian ware for the tables, for serving. This is a berry set here, plates and an individual bowl, and there's small bowls that go with this. And then you had water pitchers and that. And then over the years, later on in the 50s, Fenton Glass Company also marketed a lot of Vaseline glass. Some of the pieces here have Vaseline as part of it, and then you have cranberry, and then you have opalescent down in there. That'd be Robina Verde opalescent is what that would be called.
Very good. Thank you so much for all the information.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So there were about 4 buildings just full of antiques, and we're going to do a building in each of the videos so you can see what's in each of them. So we're in one of the merchant buildings here, and we're going to take a look at all the good stuff they got and show you all the different vendors and their things that they're selling. So here's a nice overall of that building, so you can get an idea of how big they are and how many people are in there. So check out these vintage oil lamps, and there's some quite some old ones there. Look at all these nice lamps and lanterns. If you're a collector, this is the place to come. And check out all of these Figaro cookie jars. They were beautiful. I have never seen some of these. And they were a newer collectible, obviously, but very cool. And a very neat thing to see, especially the whole collection right there with Wizard of Oz. And Dorothy and the Lion and even the Good Witch. Very cool. And this dealer also had some glassware and various ceramic pieces. There's some cobalt blue. And some teapots and glass baskets. Quite a variety. Some nice old lamps. And there's a covered chicken. Those are always really good sellers, by the way. If you find those reasonable, you should always pick those up. People really like covered chickens. Lots of figurines. And she had some dolls. So I'm here with Mark and Greg, and they're going to talk to us a little bit about the autumn leaf pattern. And tell us what the name of your business is, though, first.
It's Jones Attic, and we were based out of Burton, but we started out in Flushing, and that's where we're at now, Flushing.
Can you tell us a little bit about the autumn leaf pattern?
The autumn leaf pattern, it came about in 1932.
It was by Hall, GOT company. They also had a company, grocery store called GOT General Store. The Hall GOT, which is the autumn leaf pattern, was one of the 300 patterns that Hall had. That's the most popular pattern. We also have the Red Poppy, a couple pieces by Red Poppy with us at our spot. But autumn leaf been around since 1981 when the business went out of business. But every year the Collector Club makes a piece to go with the autumn leaf. So you still can buy an autumn leaf piece. We also have a Facebook page called Haw and GOT Identification Show and Sell, excuse me. It's on Facebook. It's a free group to join. We have over 600 members on the page. You can buy, sell, trade, find something by Haw. You can post it, have questions you can ask. We're there to help people.
That sounds like something I need to join. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen.
You're very welcome.
So we're going to talk to this gentleman here about some of the Funko Pops that he has here at the Michigan Antique Festival. So can you tell us your name and the name of your company?
I'm Mike from Chicago. My company is MG Collectibles and Appraisals, and I carry a serious amount of stuff. A lot of Funkos, a lot of new ones, a lot of new animes. I do have autograph ones too that are all JSA'd.
So tell us a little bit about your Disney pins and your Loungeflies. I know my daughter collects Loungeflies. She would go crazy with this collection.
Yeah, so I have a serious amount of Disneyana. Got the Jim Shores, got the Walt Disney Classic, the figurines, got tons of Disney pins and categories, and then I got 6 cases full of more expensive pins and every Disney piece in between, from Pixar to Nightmare Before Christmas. If you're a Disney person, you'll remember me, so yeah.
And you never see this many pins in Michigan, so this is definitely a great place to come to get all your Disney collectibles. So thanks so much.
You're welcome, thank you.
So now we're going to go get our pickles that we saw at the Davisburg show. We didn't get any, and buddy, I am getting some today because they were smelling so good. We took a couple containers home. We got the bread and butter pickles, and we got the dills. And man, oh man, those were some of the best pickles I've ever had in my life. So anytime I see them at a show, I am definitely getting some pickles to go home because they were really worth it. And look how good they look. And I'm not that big of a pickle fiend, but man, these were the best ones I've ever tasted. They were really good, and they really filled up those containers extra full for us. So that was great. They were kind of a refrigerator pickle, so you got to put those in the refrigerator, I believe. Look at that. They look good right now. Yum. And here is Dawn and Diane's Vintage Collectibles, and they had quite a variety in their booth. There's some jewelry there and some purses. There was quite a big variety. There was antique stuff, there was collectible stuff, pretty much something for everybody. I mean, if you can't find it there were so many dealers. I don't know what to tell you because there was so much stuff there that you could look at and pick through, and it just was nice to have such a big variety in each of the barns and throughout the vendors on the outside. And we have some toys here and some of those buyer horses. I always look for those. And of course, Disney collectibles. And we got some books and some Smurfs. I can remember collecting those back in the 80s. My husband used to collect those Smurf little figurines. I don't know whatever happened to them. I think they got sold in a garage sale years ago, but we should have kept them. They're probably worth some money now. And here's all kinds of figures, Star Wars figures, Marvel figures, and some different books, and some more Star Wars. There's Chewbacca, my favorite. And all kinds of toys. There's a Pikachu. And there was a whole little section of Hello Kitty stuff. Super cute. And dolls. And here's some more kitchen items. Some trivets. And glassware. And lots of colored glass. And some mugs and cups and saucers. And here's Candlewick by the Imperial Glass Company. And here's a Fenton milk glass piece. And here's another piece of Fenton, the silver crust pattern. And pictures. There's a dish set over there that my aunt used to have in the turquoise flowers. This Christmas set I kind of thought was Fire King, but it wasn't. I'm not sure. I think it's more modern. But it kind of had the look of it. That's the dishes that my aunt had as a kid. I can remember her using those, eating a lot of dinners on those dishes at her house. And there was lots of books. And this is Gregory Mitchell, Antiques and Collectibles. And he had some nice pocket watches. And some bowls and pitchers. An old lantern. This is a Roseville pottery utility ware mixing bowl from 1920 to 1940s. So we typically think of Rosevilles as those vases with the flowers on it, but they can also be bowls and those types of things also. So there's some more nice lanterns. And a tennis racket. Some old books. This is the Porch Light Refinery. They had a large variety of things. Of course, they had jewelry, my favorite. I had to fish through all of that and look through those necklaces. And ooh, a box lot for $10 for all. That's my kind of deal. So I fished through that for a little while. And I didn't see anything very spectacular in there. It wasn't a bad deal, but I ended up passing on that. Some of the earrings didn't have their mates in there. If all the earrings would have had their mates, that would have been even a better deal. But I ended up passing, like I said. So we'll put that sign right back in there for the next folks that come along. And here's some more earrings. And some pictures and some flowers and signs. Linens. And this guy had all models, and most of them were sealed. They had never been used. And boy, that was a lot of models to choose from if you're a collector of those things. And this is something I need to start looking for. And I actually just lost out on some models at a garage sale, but I need to pay attention to those because those are really hot ticket items. A lot of people like to collect those, especially the ones that have never been opened or never been used. But he had a large collection. It was very cool. And here I was looking for some Monster High dolls, of course. Those are always good sellers for me. And they had a few, but the price wasn't right for me to make a profit on. They would have been okay to use for my own collection, but not make what I need to make in an antique mall. So I passed on those. Ooh, look at all these nice shiny pins. I love colored rhinestone pins. Those are always great sellers. And we have some glassware. And here's some salt and pepper shakers and some kitchen tools. The ones with the red handles are the ones I typically buy. They usually have wooden red handles because those are the most appealing to people. So I tend to stay away from the other ones that look really, really old. But look at this beautiful glassware, a nice depression glass piece. And some blue Fenton in there and a nice carnival piece. And this thing here is a Art Deco Streamline Ice Crusher. That was kind of odd looking. I thought it was kind of cool. Now this lady here, she made all these little animals and little dolls, and what she does is she has a storybook that goes along with them. And then when you get their newsletter, then there'll be a continuation of those stories that comes in the newsletter. So what a cute idea for a gift that's unique. And she worked very hard to make all those cute little animals. They were all hand done, and the clothing was all hand done. Very cute. And then also she made some crocheted hats and mug covers to keep your coffee or your hot chocolate warm. So there was some artists here too that did this type of work, and that was kind of neat to see. They were kind of intermingled throughout the antiques and the collectibles. You have to appreciate all the work they do because that stuff takes time. So here we have Marty Glass, and there's a Roseville pottery piece. Right there, they had quite a bit of Roseville actually. Really nice. And they sold a lot of stuff. You can see already the spaces on their table. So they were very popular, and they sold their items pretty quickly. Oh, I love this turquoise vase. And that's a piece of turquoise blue opalescence by the Northwood Glass Company. There's a nice piece of opalescent there. And the clear and the white. And this piece here is Fenton Blue opalescent hobnail vase. I like that one too. This color was so pretty. This is the Fenton plum color, and I don't think I've ever seen that color, but that was beautiful. And this also here is a little Fenton cat that I've never seen that one either. So they had some unusual things. Lots of pottery and vases. And like I said, you can see all the spaces on the table. Those tables were full earlier, and that's how much stuff they sold. So they had very good quality antiques, and they really sold them quite quickly. So I would say go in the building first if you want this type of thing. And this is the Fenton thumbprint ruffled orange basket. Might be one of those dealers you gotta check out early in the day because they obviously sell out pretty quickly. When you have good quality things, it does sell quickly. It sells itself. It's like little jadeite salt and pepper shakers. I think those might have been actually reproductions. And here's another booth, and they have lots of decorative plates. And some glassware, and some more handiwork with crochet, and linens, material. And these were pretty cool. These are all handmade, and they have all kinds of stones on them. Beautiful birdhouses. This is a great gift for someone that has everything. This is just something they won't have because this is a one-of-a-kind type of piece. So a lot of times when I go to these shows, I'm buying gifts for people because there are those hard-to-buy people, hard-to-find people that you just can't find anything, and I will get something unusual like this, and they really like that. So I appreciate these kinds of items at the show. And here's some nice pictures. Ooh, that purse in the corner was beautiful. It was a little bit too much for me, but boy, that wicker purse with the lucite handle, that was really up my alley. I thought that was so nice. And here's some Brookware bowls made from 1952 to 1962. And I had never seen that color before in those bowls. So I thought that was kind of cool to show. And there's an old Cadillac Road sign and Moby Dick. And a nice old sled. That almost looks like something that somebody made. Those are all kinds of cookie cutters. People that like to make cutouts. They had bins and bins full of those. And lots of salt and pepper shakers. And some birds. And some other ceramics. And nice glassware. And there's that glass with the uranium in it that shines. They must have they did have a little black light there to kind of show how it works. And covered chickens, always a good seller. Like I said, definitely want to pick those up if you see them reason. Oh, and there's Gumpy. And an old mixer. And this is Wacky Wire Designs. And they did all kinds of work with wire and beads. And they made magic wands. All kinds of cute things. Those were super cute with all the different ribbons on them. And this dealer, Memories Galore, they had tables and tables full of postcards, and they were all very organized by like the area or the subject, so it was really easy to get to the things that you wanted to look for. So that was a really cool booth. And so many of them. I never seen so many, and I wish I would have had more time to look. And here's some pottery again. Some painted tiles. And this is Dinkins Estate Sale and Dinkins Antique Studio. So they do estate sales and they have like a store. So they had quite a few nice old items. Some old jars. Ooh, Dumbo, cute. I've never seen that figurine. That was super nice. And there's a piece of depression glass on the bottom there. And these mixing bowls are quite nice. Those were McCoy mixing bowls, which I've never seen McCoy mixing bowls either. So I saw things at this show that I have never seen and wasn't even aware that that was made. So it was kind of cool to see all those items. It was a great educational experience. And plus I bought quite a bit of stuff too and spent quite a lot of money. And you'll be seeing that in the upcoming episodes. Here's a nice piece of heritage by the Federal Glass Company, 1940 to 1955. So let's take a look at some candy here. So this is Sherry from Sweet Destiny Homemade Candy. So tell me how you make your candy.
Hand pull all of it, and then I pull it into rods, and then I chop it up just like you would see on the YouTube videos. And that's pretty much how I learned, self-taught. And every flavor I put a little bit of something to make all the fruit flavors pop. And it's taken me 4 years to perfect the recipe, and now we're working on color and the way it looks and presentation. The suckers are all also hand pulled. Those are brand new twist suckers. And then we also have shot glasses that last for about 6 months unless the party's over and you smash it. And then we have what's called unicorn poop, and that's actually the first part of the pull of the candy. A lot of people like that, so it's just you break it up just like regular Christmas candy. And then we have your traditional candies, and the cinnamon actually tastes like Red Hots. The peppermint tastes like candy canes, and we do hand pulled candy canes as well. The sour lemonade tastes like the lemon heads that you would remember as you were a kid. But they're all hand pulled, and it's 1 ounce of love per piece.
So tell us the difference between the clear colored candy and the solid color.
So this one is a sugar-free, and this one is non-sugar-free. It's shaped like this, and it's kind of clear because a lot of diabetics have to do portion control, and this is one way that I can help them do portion control. Now, it doesn't just come in lemonade. They can request another flavor as well. If you get up into specialties, then the prices start going up, but I try to keep it price-friendly because I understand that it is expensive.
So now we're going to head outside and see more of the outside vendors. Like I said, that was only one building. We're going to put one building in each of the shows because there was so much to see and so many dealers. Like Matt said, there was about 1,000 dealers, which was amazing. So here's some cool kitchen tools. And this was that cherry pitter that I featured on one of my shorts I did a little while back. That was another one, and I've never seen those other than the one in Colorado, and I saw another one at the Michigan Antique Festival, so that was pretty cool. So here's a mirror, nice old mirror with figurines on it, and good old boxes and cast iron cookware, and some Crocs, and cool wire furniture. And oh, here's the jewelry. Of course, I have to dig through every jewelry pile, so that took a little time too when I was going through all the dealers. And in a future episode, you're going to see me buy a lot of jewelry from one particular dealer. She had some great deals, let me tell you. I wish I could go back to her right now. The deals were so awesome. I should have bought more. This dealer had a lot of nice necklaces, and then she had some toys and some rings. Had to check all those out, of course. Ooh, I like that pin set right there and the blue stones. Beautiful. That's something I would buy. And look at all these pins. Nice colored rhinestones. Beautiful. A lot of those were earrings actually too. And here's a box lot. Everything was $1 in this box lot. And I found this necklace in here, and it looked like it had some sort of natural stones in it. So I thought, ooh, that's kind of mine. And then that ring popped up, and I thought, well, that's mine too. But in that pouch where I got that necklace, there was more pieces to that set. And the whole set was $1. There was a bracelet, and I believe there was some earrings in there. So that was a no-brainer. That came home with me for sure. And here's some tools and various kitchen items. An old thermos. And some old scales. Neat looking ones. And here's a table with some more modern items, more collectible items. They had cards and various games and DVDs and items like those things. And lots of Pokemon things. Pokemon's back in style again. We shouldn't have thrown away all the stuff we had back in the 80s. That was a mistake. Here's a nice light fixture in red. It's beautiful. Some iron items. A nice covered dish. And some pots and pans. And even some plants. Like I said, they have it all. Anything you're looking for, you can find it here. And here's some more small items. And jewelry bag lots. Oh yeah, that's what I like. She had a lot of them too, so I fished through all of those. And I didn't end up buying any of those, but man, there were some neat ones in there. And when I look at those bag lots, I'm always looking for like 2 or 3 really good pieces that I know I can make my money back on for sure. And here was some other items. And more bag lots. And there was a lot of them. And they were pretty reasonable. I mean, when I look back at it now, I thought maybe I should have bought a few of those. I don't know what I was thinking, but there were some nice ones in there. But the show was so big, I bought so much from another dealer that I had to kind of control my spending because I was running out of money. There was a lot of cool stuff, that's for sure. And I always bring cash to these things because a lot of the dealers just accept cash. So there was an ATM machine in the area, and I'll show you that at the end. But always make sure you bring your cash with you, and small bills are the best because sometimes they don't have the change. So that makes more sense to do it that way, and then you don't have to worry. And here's some more jewelry. Yeah, when I go to these events, I usually bring like about 51s just to have them handy for some of the small items that I'm buying. And here's some nice vintage clothing. Looks like some stuff from the 70s in there. And these gloves were nice. And I've sold quite a few gloves like that. Ooh, I like this purple hat. And guess what? That purple hat was coming home with me. The one with the sequins on it. I had to look at everything else there first. But that hat came home. It was only $2. That had a lot of shine to it. I thought it was pretty cool. So that was one of the other items that I brought home. And here's Cowboys Cuisine Panini Grill. Boy, it smelled really good from this trailer. This was a good one that I didn't get to eat at. But boy, they had some nice looking stuff in there. Some nice paninis. And we're going to go inside the trailer and see them all working and getting ready to feed all the folks that are in line. They got their grills ready to go to put the sandwiches together. So that's the Panini Grill. And there's some Pyrex. And here's some coin glass by the Fostoria Glass Company from 1958 to 1982. And here's a Moon and Stars, the Amberina glass. And what that means is like the orange suddenly goes down into the yellow. So it like the glass color transitions to another color. So that's what that's called, the Amberina, when you see that. And they do that in several other designs too, not just the Moon and Stars. So you see that in other pieces. That's kind of a cool effect they did. And here's some nice iris. and some other iridescent type objects. And lots of figurines. And lots of toys. And here's some nice old chairs, an old star. And this is Libby mid-century emerald glasses. Those were pretty cool. So if you see something we misidentified, please correct us. Don't feel bad about doing it because we all want to learn together. And this is a nice piece of shell pink milk glass by the Jeanette Glass Company from 1957 and 1959. They did not make that very long, only a couple years. That stuff is really beautiful. You don't see it all that often. And they made it in a variety of different patterns. And there's some more depression glass. And this is Jenny Lynn's Pickens. And she's from LC, Michigan. That table was gorgeous. I sure hope someone picked that up before the end of the day. She had some linens and some antlers and quite a few kitchen tools. That was a neat chopper. I actually just bought one of those recently. That was pretty cool. And that was an old whisk. And I believe that was a cheese cutter. And that, I said in the last video, was a can opener, and actually it's a knife sharpener. So sorry about that. I got that wrong in the last video, but we got it right this time. It's a knife sharpener. So I don't know if anybody caught that, but that was mislabeled the last time. And she had a little dress form here with all kinds of pins hanging on it. Actually, I had the same dress form. And what a good idea. I usually put earrings on mine, but she had pins on hers, and that made them really look nice, and you could see them all in one glance. So this is Stumpblower Woodworking. They had lots of items that they made. And there was quite a few woodworking type businesses here, and their prices were really reasonable on all of them. I was surprised for how much work some of that stuff takes. And there's some nice benches and some tool holders. You could put flowers in there too. That would look cute too. And look at the beautiful tables that they have. Really like that one. With the natural wood there. And here's some cutting boards. And a whole variety of things. Some crates and some more benches. And they had some furniture also. Was done very nicely. And there's those tables again. Those are super cool. They used to be kind of in style back in the 70s, and they have come back into vogue now. I don't know why they ever went out of vogue, because those are really neat. And here's a bunch of license plates. And some beer mugs. And look at all the cobalt blue. There's some forest green glasses there with some decals on them. And this is Michael Longoria. And he had these pins there. All those pins there were pins that were given as awards when you worked at various companies. So they were not mass produced. And same with the Tie-Tacs. Those were all given as awards as you worked 20 years or 10 years or whatever the award was for. So he had some very interesting objects. You just don't see that stuff like that very often. Sometimes I found some things at some sales or estate sales, but not very often. And look how many he had. So that was what he specialized in. So those were really cool to see. And this is the Fabric Forge. They made some really nice Michigan shirts, among other things. Kind of fished through those. That one was really cool. That's another thing I probably should have bought. Those were really nice. You always say that later after you watch these videos. I bought so much stuff, but I should have bought a few more things. And this is the Rustic Mill. And they made all kinds of signs. And different things for the wall. Those deer ones were kind of cool too. Lots of artists here. And there's some nice birdhouses. And this is called No He Won't. And this is a funny story. So I asked her what the name of her store was, and she says, No, he won't, because they heard a lady and a gentleman come by, and he said, well, I can make these things at home. And the wife turned around and said, No, he won't. Sounds like a familiar saga. And the prices they charged were so reasonable. You might as well buy it here. They are already beautiful and done, and you couldn't hardly make it for what they were charging. So they had some really nice objects here. And I love the name. It just cracked me up when she told me that story. Oh, anyways. Oh, and here's a box of pictures. And I actually bought that one. It was only $1. It was a nice religious picture. And this was really reasonable, too. Me and my husband had a summer. This is Chevrolet and Schwartz. And we had a summer where we were going to make these birch candle things. And we looked all over up north and the woods and that kind of stuff for that. And those were only $6 each. I thought, what were we thinking? We just could have came here and bought them. It would have been so much less work. Their prices were really reasonable, too. They had these beautiful cutting boards. And really nice Michigan items. That would be great gifts at Christmas time. And that Michigan cutout there with all the holes, I thought that was for quarters, but actually it's for bottle caps. And I thought that was really cool. So if you collect bottle caps, you could put them all on that board there in the shape of Michigan. This booth was beautiful. She had taken these ladders and painted them and put all these boards across it. She had some really good decorating skills. I thought she did a really good job, and she had some really cool objects. It's kind of more up my alley there. I like all that stuff like that. And she had little vignettes throughout her booth. Nice old bird cage. And those were to cover ovens. The stovetop, those big wood things. And I almost bought one of those. I probably should have bought one of those too. I think they were only $20. It was really reasonable. That would have made my kitchen look a lot better. So to recap it all, we got to see a lot of outside dealers, but we're going to see more outside dealers in the next few tapes. We have 4 more to come. So make sure you watch them all, and you can still see all the things that we haven't even gone through yet at the Michigan Antiques Festival. And there was so many outside dealers. It was days to get through it all. It took us 2 full days. And here's some of the entertainment that they had. So make sure you come and check out some of the entertainment. There's something for everyone to do. And they had a car show here. And they had tons of different food. And everything was really nicely done. It was a festival, not just an antique show. So there's lots to do at this place. And like I said, we have 4 more videos. There's some of the buildings. We're going to try to do a building in each of the videos. And they have an ATM machine if you need it, which is always good. And there's Herbie the Love Bug. So this is Lou from Lou's Antiques and Collectibles saying goodbye, and we'll see you again.
Come on out and rescue a piece of American history at Michigan's largest treasure hunt.